Hi, I'd like to review some best practices about text boxes because if you take a few simple steps, things work much better. So when you're inserting text boxes, you insert and size one text box, format the fill and line color, adjust the font so that the longest likely answer fits. You're going to copy and paste the text box multiple times, drag text boxes to desired locations, and then group the text boxes. Okay, so let me show you what I mean. So we have this activity where I have put the JPEG image in the background, and I'm going to insert a text box, and it's your choice whether you want the line to show or not. I'm a don't show the line person. Now, if I put the text box here and it's white, it's clear, sorry, that is no good because when people are someplace else, they can't even tell that there's a text box there. So I always, always, always put a text box with color. I also like doing a line around a text box, but that's up to you. And actually here it looks really clunky. So I think I might not do a line in this text box. So I'm going to go back and I'll make the text box transparent. So there. Now, before I copy and paste, I want to make sure that the font works. Nothing worse than when kids are trying to type a reasonable answer and it doesn't fit in the text box. So I'm looking here, and ancestors is the longest word. It's not the correct answer for this one, but it's the longest word that we're going to use. So let me type ancestor. Okay, so that is definitely going to fit. I like the size of this. It doesn't need to be as big, but just for giggles, we could make it as large as will fit. For some activities, you might want to do that. And you always want to format it where you have it centered and then also in the middle. So this large a font actually does fit. So you could make it as large as that. I'm going to go back and make it 14 though, because I think that looks better. Okay. So see how that is going to be, that's not the correct answer, but that will look good. Okay. I'm going to get rid of that text. Now I'm going to copy, and so copy, and then I'm going to paste, and I'll paste several more times so I have multiple copies of this. And then I just drag it to where I want it to go. Now, the thing with text boxes is kids can accidentally delete them or accidentally move them. And if you group them all together, it makes it much easier to manage because if they shift something, you can like shift it back and things all stay with the same relationship to each other. So I'm going to click on this and then I'm going to hit shift and click here. See how they have these blue dots on the outside? That means they are selected. I'm going to click here. Click here, click here. See how there are these blue dots? That shows that all of these things are selected. I'm going to format, and I'm going to group. So now when the students are working on it, if somebody accidentally moved one, well, see how they all move? But that's actually better because if you put one back where it belongs, then they're all where they belong. And I think that looks good. Let me look on the next page and show you this. So sometimes you want text boxes to have more than one color. So I'm going to do it again, text box. I'll make a text box right here. Always want to color it in. And I'm going to shrink this a tiny bit because see how the box doesn't show? Now here is a good hint. If you're using your mouse, things are not you can change the size, but if you want to be more precise, you can click on something and use your shift key and then arrows, and that will give you a very fine control. Shift keys and then arrows. So I'm going to click this, shift, and see how I just hit the arrow once, it just moved a tiny bit. And then the same as here, just click that tiny bit. So I have this just how I like it. I'm going to copy and paste, 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 put them all around. And I'm not going to be as precise as I would be if I were doing it for myself, but you get the idea. Oh, I made one too many, so I'm just going to click on that and delete it. Now, these are sort of individual words, but I like to have this part where they write be longer. So I'm going to insert text box and make one that'll fit here. And this one I'm going to fill with another color. Now, you almost always want text boxes to be in the middle, but I would say that this one wouldn't make sense to be centered. This one should be over to the left. So now I'm going to do the same thing, copy, 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 drag them where I want them. And I'm going to show you a quick little tip here. See how these are kind of basically lined up, but if you want to line them up perfectly, I can click on this, click on the second green one, click on the third green one, the fourth green one, the fifth green one. I go to arrange, align. I align them center. Oh, look, they're all nice and neat now. So aligning is very useful. And then just like we grouped before, another way to group is do select all, Control A, and now they're all selected. I'm going to group these and see now how everything is together. And so if somebody moves it, it's easy enough to move the entire thing back where it needs to be. I would say that grouping text boxes saves a lot of stress and bother. And move it just how it needs to be. I hope this has been helpful. Thanks very much.